extraordinary importance in our exchanges and choices. It's a mirror reflecting our innermost thoughts and feelings character. We stop when we decide to be silent, believing that we don't respond rashly and allow our inner guidance to lead us. Silence has this amazing capacity to disclose the actual nature of the people, can tell the intelligent from the foolish. The smart and reckless know when to keep quiet, and they shine in their quiet intellect. They've perfected the technique of holding out for the ideal opportunity. Acknowledge that impulsive speech might frequently result in regret in moderation. They demonstrate their knowledge to the world as taught by Stoic philosophy. The source of true intelligence is not the lots of words, but in the considerate and the deliberate decision of when to speak and knowing when to be quiet. So today, as we examine the advantages of keeping quiet, the Stoic knowledge that highlights the significance of understanding when to let. When will the world hear your voice? Let silence's beauty do the talking itself, which is why I'm in today's video going to talk about 7 advantages of quietness. 1. The opponent becomes confused when there is silence. First, stillness confuses people. The adversary in the Stoic domain. Silence is not pity, it is a sign of wisdom, a calculated action that can disarm adversaries and bring forth victory. It's the art of waiting for the ideal opportunity, much like to a player of chess considering his SSU. The old philosopher is the next step. Once a military strategist recognized this idea well, he frequently employed SCI the strategic thinking is a successful tactic. Of ancient Sansu military strategists and Chinese philosophers have deep thoughts on the value of silence. Sun Tzu wrote about this for victory. Principle in his well-known piece on the art of in this piece, he not only covered the efficient utilization of forces, but also concentrated on strategy and psychology, one of Sun's. The well-known piece of advice is to keep your plans to your adversary. Allow them to supposition and conjecture about Creighton Caney and uncertainty in your thoughts. He frequently highlighted that mystery and quiet may apply some sort of mental pressure on the adversary, leaving him perplexed and conjecture about your motivations, and Sansu further pointed out that protecting the phrases not only assist you in avoiding disclose your choices, but it also permits you should pay attention to and watch your opponent. Closer by, demonstrating endurance and with poise, you can make an impression. Of assurance and knowledge in the Sunu gave instances of how to use keeping quiet to put opponents in uncertainty with their choices and activities, that this tactic frequently included generating uncertainty to raise questions in the opponent's thoughts, which enabled him to numerous significant military triumphs, history, and illustrated the strength of wartime silence and approach. So Sonu not only deeply comprehended Stoic philosophy, in addition to understood how to use it to develop successful tactics in combat. Additionally, in Life in the Art of War, picture a battlefield where troops wait your behavior, yet you say nothing and allow tension to rise in that silence. Your opponents start to get restless. Uncertainty clouds our thoughts. Leaving you unsure of your silence diverts intents, teaches us SSU's knowledge. When you make your opponent uneasy as a result of your silence, his focus moves away from his. This is aimed at you and your tactics. Old tactic with Stoic roots principles serves as evidence of the significant effects of keeping things quiet, emphasizes the notion that occasionally, by claiming that we can accomplish more than we were able to use words, as we examine the benefits of silence now, keep in mind its strategic power, and how you may use silence to overcome obstacles and opponents. Number 2. With discernment and elegance. 2. Remove all sources of distraction. Get rid of distractions. In terms of strategy, we are continuously noise-filled, never-ending notifications, as well as the global anarchy. But the quiet gives us time to think. create plans and strategies for our approach. Forward, the world's brightest minds understood the value of quiet and focus. They employed this ability to make crucial choices and succeed remarkable achievement. The calm mind is the source of innovation. When you remove diversions that allow your thoughts to wander, establishing relationships and identifying solutions. You might not have noticed the commotion in the calm strategist in the middle of the pandemonium remains composed and sees the wider picture. The enormous life chessboard and create deliberate actions in a world overflowing with data. Quiet enables us to distinguish, separating the important from the trivial. In these quiet moments, we can tell the noise from the signal, the quiet. The practitioner is aware of the power of presence. When you give the task your whole attention at hand, this intense concentration produces a source of inventiveness and productivity. Your words hold weight when you ultimately speak. Weight in the quiet that they have investigated all factors taken into account, all possibilities, and decided unequivocally that quiet does not mean inaction, indicates careful and the delay before taking decisive action. The breath's decisive movement prior to the leap in the tranquility of nature that we discover. Let's rediscover the power of peace, of silence's wisdom and simplicity. Accept the power of silence and get rid of distractions and use strategic thought in. In these instances, you genuinely transform into the master of your Buddha another luminary, and Destiny Gautama of wisdom exhorted us to use our. He suggested that we think about 3 important questions to ask before speaking of value. Is it required? And will it provide regarding an improvement in this technique of speech filtering serves as the basis for fostering inner quiet, and focus on the Stoic school of thought. They have a strong connection in the quiet of our distractions in our brains diminish, and in this silence, focus becomes more acute. Clarity in our ideas enables us to consider carefully, even though many might believe that thinking and speaking are inextricably linked. Connected, the lessons of Stoicism have shown the profound power seen in the capacity to stay motionless and reflect. Before saying just one word, we are able to unleash the potential of silence is the 3rd true concentration number. 3. Quietness draws notice, draws attention. Quietness has a magnetic effect, particularly in a group circumstances in a world frequently filled of noise. The one who opts for quiet stands out as a symbol of peace and tranquility. Have you ever been in a crowded room, with discussions occurring all around you, and all of a sudden there is everyone's silence at this pause? Unknowingly, focus shifts to the quiet presence in the space. Picture a classroom in which the instructor is battling to keep things under control while the students talk non-stop throughout. It is a scenario in the full conference, which is in competition with the professor's voice, with the incessant hum of dialogue making it challenging to communicate crucial information when the instructor even takes a moment to. There is a brief period of stillness in the classroom as the pupils naturally shift their focus to the instructor. In this situation, the educational environment is full of obstacles and distractions that the process of learning, the instructor's attempts to impart a valuable lesson, are greeted by the steady hum of side discussions that are causing a frenzied gaining knowledge surroundings. But there's a hint of hope that the little silence that ensues, the instructor's pause, which suggests students are capable of refocusing. When presented with the chance, it's a reminder that with a successful classroom strategies for involvement and management, even the most agitated pupils may be tempted to return to the realm of education. This change in emphasis is evidence of the strength of quiet in the face of chaos. Silence takes center stage, creating a strong instrument for efficient dialogue as well as impact a reverberation of Stoic wisdom. There is a tremendous power in philosophy. within the quiet embrace of quiet, the ability to enchant and radiate charm. Charming people aren't always about expressive speech or ostentatious actions. Quiet power is frequently where it starts. There is something special about the silent listen, charisma. You hear more than just words. Take in subtleties and unsaid feelings. A magnetic force can also be kindness. The act of merely showing compassion and helpful can win hearts in silence. Having charm as a leader involves more than simply regarding issuing directives. They are motivated by their behavior and give others around them more control. When they talk, they do so using every syllable is infused with conviction and intention. Word isolation is not the goal of Count Quiet. It's about listening to the quiet. The party's soul is frequently the observer. The impact of a sincere grin, a kind gesture or a reassuring touch softly affects the soul in an incalculable way. Thus, keep this in mind when you're silent. You have the charisma to enchant people. Authenticity and presence speak for itself. Accept charisma's subtle art and observe how it transforms your world and the number 4 in the world of people around you. 4. Strength comes from silence. Silence grew. The Stoic philosophy of strength teaches us silence is feared by many because they consider it to be something solitary or because they do not seek validation from others, are motivated by this fear to look for continuous appreciation and attention that eventually erodes their inner strength. Nevertheless, the solitude frequently experienced in silent times provide a transformational talent that enables us to confront our actual selves, sans the disguises we wear to the outside world. With this reflective, in stillness, we uncover our inner power and understand that our value does not rely on Stoicism, which motivates us to accept solitude as a reflection that shows who we really are, which enables us to clearly stand apart from the views or deeds of other people. Silence gives us strength. That originates internally. Picture yourself as an A student in high school, getting ready for a crucial test for which you have been diligently studying for months, and the strain grows. As exam day approaches, many of your classmates are always discussing about how they compare their study techniques, taking notes, and getting confirmation from others of their level of readiness. They are afraid silence, since they interpret it as an indication of loneliness and solitude you're experiencing. However, have embraced the Stoic philosophy of solitude and quiet as a chance to reflect on oneself and accurate self-discovery, rather than continuously looking for outside approval and comparing yourself to what other people have chosen. Quiet times of reflection to assess your own expertise and attitude. During these quiet times, you confront your actual capabilities and acknowledge that your value is independent of the views or behaviors of people in your immediate vicinity. By acknowledging that silence is a manifestation of your inner fortitude and self-assurance, you can maintain composure and focus in the face of difficulty. You have faith in your own readiness and muster the inner fortitude to complete your best, despite the continual discussions and analogies that surround you in this Stoic manner. Philosophy has provided you with the chance to make use of the transforming talent of being silent. At a pivotal point in your freedom is the 5th academic journey, the absence of pride or conceit. From pride or conceit in one's superiority, you will discover wisdom in stillness. To remove the burdensome armor of pride and conceit, genuine freedom is not found in confirming our superiority, but in acknowledging our shared humanity. Acts don't require praise, because they are there. The silent giver finds satisfaction in his own recompense. Fostering humility by acknowledging that when one is incorrect is a strength rather than a weakness. It is the route to genuine personal growth. Enhancement of the quiet humility path, which leads but is not without challenges to the comprehension of empathy, and another quality is unity and humility. Of those who select their own words cautiously, they don't aim for notoriety, but are happy with their sincerity, and humility are not signs of weakness, if it is the power of being aware of your position. It is found throughout the vast fabric of life. In an act of generosity, by lending a helpful hand and compassion for those who are most in need, the ability to recognize when you're incorrect, the insight to get knowledge from your embracing humility is the connection that links you with individuals outside of social creed and status race. Thus, accept the quiet that conveys a sense of freedom and humility. From the pride or arrogance number, U6. Negotiations benefit from silence. 6 silences are helpful in discussions in the Stoic world. The silence of philosophy turns out to be a strong ally it is a strategic halt in negotiations that can produce outstanding outcomes when negotiations hit a snag, the skill of silence turns into priceless. Consider a wage, discuss and bargain over a pay rate. Scenario of a negotiation: if you get an offer that falls short of your expectations, rather than responding right away. Let's say you work. Stop talking and keep quiet. For a business and wish to discuss your pay, that you have examined and contrasted the typical pay for your role, and keep certain figures in mind regarding what you believe that you should be compensated. Get yourself mentally ready to talk about this wage with your supervisor when you participate in the wage negotiation and listen to the business's offer. You might discover that it doesn't fit your expectations, rather than right away responding with criticisms or justifications, for can also take a brief break and stay silent. The rationale for the decision to remain silent, perhaps to make sure you don't react too rapidly and grow tight throughout by being quiet during the negotiation. You will have time to consider the proposal and learning to react appropriately. It can also pressure on the party engaged in negotiations, particularly if they don't know your offer. This could lead to their growing the pay or changing their initial suggestion to best suit your expectations. In brief, halting and keeping quiet during a pay period. You can maintain control through negotiating and provide chances for modifications and advancements in the discussion procedure. Number 7 of the sort, and 7. Show consideration and kindness to others. Thoughtful consideration for other people, kindness that is straightforward but profound, offering assistance, not because you must, but because you'd like to. The beating heart of a caring society. The infectious laughter is kindness. It spreads among a bunch of buddies inside the warmth of a reassuring embrace and in the sympathetic ear of a companion who listens impartially. It's the altruistic commitment of nurses and caretakers who not only treat physical ailments but spirits of men. It is in the hands of words of consolation and the calming presence when people are in risk. The cornerstone of education is kindness. When educators do more than just teach, but also fan the curiosity's flames and encourage aspirations, it's in the unsung heroes who pause to show concern for brought our planet closer to home by gathering up littering, planting trees, and supporting kindness shines in a more sustainable world. Brilliantly in firefighters' bravery and emergency personnel who put their lives to preserve not just people, but also for our four-legged friends. It's in the global peace movement where millions of people speak up and their united hands proclaiming that kindness and kindness will always prevail. Hatred, as well as the act of violence, compassion, is sharing with someone, whether it's a meal in need or sharing information with those who. The open heart is what you're thirsting for. Heartfelt conviction that there is plenty. Today, we encourage everyone to embrace courtesy and thoughtful consideration for others, to offer assistance, a smile, or say something nice, considerate, and the qualities of kindness come with those. They ponder their words and say less carefully, assessing the effects of let's examine their speech on others. The tale of Jane, a young lady who lives in a busy city. She has encountered several obstacles throughout her life, from losing her family and her career in a severe auto accident that affected every aspect of her life, appeared to be unraveling, but Jane never lost hope. She began working as a volunteer at a community center that she encountered people going through difficult circumstances and sympathized with them. Jane was always willing to listen, share, and help. Whenever the chance presented itself, she turned into a wellspring of inspiration for others, assisting them in feeling less isolated and aware that there was always someone to support them. Jane once encountered a young man named Michael who had experienced a challenging time after he lost his job. Jane revealed her personal experience and how she conquered. She provided him with hardship, guidance, and assistance, and they grew close. Friends because of Jane's encouragement. Michael discovered a new job in addition to found his gift for instructing, and he turned into a teacher by imparting knowledge. For children from disadvantaged backgrounds, he spends his efforts assisting the community. The tale of Michael and Jane is an illustration of deference and concern, for Jane expressed her affection for people and empathy for other people, which spread and positively influenced Michael's life and the neighborhood in which she lives. Tale makes the world a more welcoming and helpful location because of everyone's regard and care for other people. This is Tom and Emma's story. Tom and Emma share a tight relationship. Friends when they were little, they've always had a spirit of compassion and were prepared to. One day, Emma felt more inclined to assist others, and more worn down and feeble, and after a medical evaluation, she was diagnosed. Tom and Emma are suffering from a severe sickness. Agreed to go on this vacation with Tom, became Emma's reliable buddy, never leaving her side, even during the most. She devoted time every day during those trying times, taking care of Emma and ensuring that she was eating healthily and improving her mood. They went to self-help groups as well. Emma taught everyone about meetings and events, about patience and love in the struggle. The difficult journey against illness strengthened them, and they discovered significance in discussing their experiences and knowledge with others. Emma passed away one day, after a patient, and put up a valiant fight. Fighting the illness before to his departure, he told Tom, "I appreciate you always being there to support me and make my life worth living." Tom carried on with their adventure, imparting the values of compassion and kindness. Others have discovered that he turned into a pioneer in patient support, and families encountered comparable difficulties to Tom and Emma's story serves as evidence of love and concern for other people. They established a solid relationship and demonstrated respect for one another and empathy throughout their difficult journey, as detailed in this tale. It warms the planet, and more meaningful through interactions that are appreciated. With genuine relationship, we have investigated 7 significant advantages of using the Stoic principle of the strength of silence. The idea for developing strategic confusion to enhancing focus, to boosting one's self-esteem and enhancing inner strength via quiet, now turns out to be a transforming force. Conclusion. Now it's your turn. Put these timeless ideas into practice. Put the art into practice in your own life, of recognizing stillness and understanding when to articulate, and when to allow the beauty of let silence speak for itself, and accept the strength that originates internally in this. If the video spoke to you, please watch it. Give our channel a thumbs up and subscribe. For additional inspirational material, My Pal's 7 characteristics of those who talk less are characteristics of silence rather than. Ultimately, it's about building a community with purpose, compassion, and sincerity. We appreciate you being here. As we investigated the transformative, the importance of listening and speaking less more, keep in mind that your words have power, and when it's required, you can speak less. Establish deeper, more meaningful relationships and influence on your life.